Hi, we'll talk today about scientific notation. So, why we are using scientific notation? We are using scientific notation because if we have a very large number or a very small number, so in these two cases, it's very hard to write these kind of numbers. So we have invented the scientific notation. So basically the scientific notation is A multiplied by 10 to the power n. And there's some conditions here. So A is greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. So this is the first condition for scientific notation. And the second condition is n is integer. It's not a number with decimal places, it's an integer. It's 1, 2, 3, and so on. There's no fraction. Let's see an example. So here we want to write these two numbers in scientific notation. So in the first number, we can write it as 5.6. This number is less than 10 and greater. It's less than 10 and greater than 1. And then we have to multiply it by 10 to the power something. So how can we find the number of the power 10? So here we have the decimal place and we want to go this way. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here we will have 4. So it's 5.6 multiplied by 10 to the power 4. Okay, let's see part B. So here in the part B, we have 9.3. This number is less than 10 and greater than 1, so it's a valid number for scientific notation. And then we will multiply it by 10 to the power something. So how can we calculate that something? So here we have the decimal place. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we will have 5. Just notice here that we have a positive power, which is 4, and here we have a negative power, which is minus 5. In this case, the number is big, but in this case, the number is small. So when we see a small number, the power will be always negative. When we see a big number, the power will be always positive. Let's see example number 2. So here we have numbers and we want to convert them from scientific notation to a normal number. So here we have 697. Notice that I have removed this decimal place and put it here. So I've moved 2 decimal places. And then here we have 10 to the power 9, but I have already used 2 decimal places. So here we will have 10 to the power 7. And we can just write this as 697 and 7 zeros. Okay, let's see the next example. So here we have this number and we have 10 to the power minus 6. So when we have a negative power, so we'll just move the decimal place to the left. Let's see. So now we can just write it as 0.46271 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 5. So I've just moved this decimal place here. I put it here, and now we will just add zeros for the minus 5. So here we will have 0.000005 zeros, and then we will take this number here, so we will have 46271. Just remember that when we have 10 to the power a positive number, we'll move to right, and if we have 10 to the power minus number, we'll move to the left. Just keep this point in your mind. Let's see example number 3. So here we have A, B, and C and their values, and here we use calculator to approximate the quotient AP over C. So let me just write the quotient. We have AP over C, and now we will just take these three numbers and plot them here. So we have A, which is 0.00046 over, here we'll just multiply it by P, so it's 1.697 multiplied by 10 to the power 22, and we will have C, which is 2.91 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 18. Okay, so now we have to make all the numbers in scientific notation, and if you can notice here, that this number is not following the scientific notation rule, so we have to convert it into a scientific notation. So we will have 4.6 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 4. You can notice that I've just make this decimal place four places into right, so we will get minus 4. Okay, so we'll just multiply this number by 1.697 multiplied by 10 to the power 22 over 2.91 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 18. Okay, so now you can just notice that here we have 10 to the power minus 4, here we have 10 to the power 22, here we have 10 to the power minus 18. We can just rewrite them. Okay, so we can just write them, so we can just separate them. So here we'll have 4.6 multiplied by 1.697 over 2.91. And then we'll multiply all of this by 10 to the power minus 4 plus 22 minus 18. Okay, so for this part here, we'll get 10 to the power 36. Because if you can just notice here that here we have 40 and then we are subtracting 4, so we'll have 36. And then we have to calculate this part in calculator, so we will get 2.7, and then we'll just multiply it by the 10 to the power 36. So this is the last answer.